Alright, working on the Dodge 2009 1500 Laramie. I'm doing the coil packs. Got these coil packs already out. And these ones I've already got out and changed. Pretty simple procedure. I mean, you can get to everything. The hardest ones to get to are going to be this one here. This has this wire bracket. This just pulls off. Screws don't hold it on or nothing. You can't get screws in the back side with that on, but it just hops off. I unplugged those, pulled them out, pulled the heater hoses come off right here. The heater hoses right there, I pulled that off so you can move them around, because that back one's probably the worst one to get to. And you really can't even see it back there, but it's right there's a plug, and there's a screw down there. If you can see it, yeah, there's a screw down there. One under this under this wires and stuff. Yeah, so that one's kind of a little bit, you got to juggle it around. And then these you just squeeze them and you pull, they come right off. And squeeze and pull, and then they just pop right back on. But you take the two screws out, and then they just pull right out. And this is what they look like, the old ones. They're pretty dirty and nasty, grubby. You got your spring down in there. You got new ones. They came nicely packed in a box. Got foam in there and everything. Each one's bubble wrapped, but they're pretty nice. You can see spring down in there and stuff. They seem to be decent quality. It comes with a little thing. I've been taking a paintbrush and I step it down in there, right down inside there. Put a little lube so they don't stick going in and out when you change plugs and stuff. But that's where we're at, because that's one of the codes I got is cylinder 1 and cylinder 7 were misfiring. So I just figured instead of chasing ghosts, and I was going to number the coil packs as I pulled them out so I could get rid of 1 and 7 and keep the others for backups. But if 1 and 7 is going out, because 1 was going out before and then I moved it when I changed the plugs to hopefully that would take care of it, but eventually they both ended up going back out, so I just figured change them all, and there ain't no sense in hanging on to them just in case, because they're obviously at that point to where they're going bad. So but yeah, that's where I'm at on that. And then I got for the pulsating brake, I'm still working on that. I did take this here, this valve, and I did change that valve, and when I popped that valve out, that valve right there, when I did pop it out, it did make a big pop and air came out. So I don't believe the diaphragm's broke on that. I think there's got to be something else going on. And this is all of a sudden, all this happened all of a sudden after I ripped the dash out to fix the heater core, which I gotta rip it back out, because I think I'm gonna get the aftermarket actuator doors and stuff and put them in, because I think they're not working properly, because I changed the actuators and the heater core, the core for the air conditioning and everything. I changed all that, but the dash is going to get ripped back out. But for some reason after I did that, that's when I started having issues, and I'm not sure what happened. So the truck does have like 240,000 on it, I think, something like that. So I mean, yeah, there is some things that are going to need fixed, but I mean, for the most part, it just seems kind of funny it all started happening after that. But my son-in-law hooked his computer up, and I got all kinds of codes and stuff. He cleared it, so I'm changing these, and then we'll go from there and see. I'm going to go back and look at the codes and stuff for the brake system, what came up for the brakes, and see if there's something I got to do there for the ABS module or something like that. But that'll be the next thing I'll get into after I do these coil packs, and hopefully that takes care of that code, and then we can move on. I did go through the fuse box. I only had one bad fuse. So nothing was because of fuses or anything like that. The one bad fuse I did have, I think it was for the auxiliary plug inside. Because when the heater core wasn't working, I didn't have any heat, I did use an electric heater with my 110 plug, and I think I ended up getting one that put out pretty good heat, and I think it just overloaded it and popped the breaker. So, but we'll get further into it. Subscribe for more, and like I said, I'm gonna be going over more stuff, and it'd be nice to do lives, because I could do lives as I was doing this whole thing. I would have been just have it running so you could see what's going on and what issues I ran into, like back in that corner with those, how I had to deal with those, because it's tight and they're a hassle to deal with. But, I need 50 subscribers, and then I can do lives.